Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
After much heated debate and a rare public clash between the FBI and the White House, the Nunes memo has finally been released. So what's in it? And why is it so controversial? Here are the facts. As expected, the memo claims the FBI and Justice Department abused their surveillance authority on the Trump presidential campaign in 2016. It alleges that top law enforcement officials used an unsubstantiated dossier compiled by former British spy Christopher Steele to get a warrant to conduct surveillance of campaign advisor Carter Page. The memo states that top officials, including former FBI Director James Comey, former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, certified the surveillance application. The memo was prepared by Republican Devin Nunes, chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. The FBI had expressed grave concerns about the memo being released, but in the end, the Trump administration made no changes to the memo and declassified it in full, according to spokesman Raj Shah. Speaking to reporters, President Trump called the memo, quote, a disgrace, and said, quote, a lot of people should be ashamed.
We are the legislative branch of government. It is our job to conduct oversight on behalf of the American people of the executive branch in case any powers were abused and civil liberties were abused by the executive branch.
Democrats say the memo is misleading, cherry-picks information, and is meant to deflect attention from the ongoing probe into Russia's election interference and possible collusion with the Trump campaign.
FISA memo released. Here are the facts you need to know. The 4-page memo compiled by the Republican chair of the House Intelligence Committee accuses the Obama administration's FBI and DOJ of securing a warrant to spy on the Trump campaign based on the notorious Steele dossier. By Matt Agarist, February 2, 2018. Washington, D.C., ZH. The just-released FISA memo accuses senior officials at the DOJ of inappropriately using biased opposition research into then-candidate Trump to obtain surveillance warrants on transition team members as part of the federal investigation into the Trump campaign and Russia. According to the document, information from the so-called Steele dossier was essential to the acquisition of surveillance warrants on Trump campaign aide Carter Page. It claims that then-Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe told the committee in December that without the information from the Steele dossier, no surveillance warrant for Page would have been sought. The memo alleges that the political origins of the dossier paid for by Hillary Clinton and the Democratic National Committee, DNC, were not disclosed to the clandestine court that signed off on the warrant request. The document claims that although the FBI had clear evidence that the author of the dossier, former British spy Christopher Steele, was biased against Trump, it did not convey that to the surveillance court when making its warrant applications. Steele told then Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr that he was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being president, the memo says. House conservatives have touted the memo's revelations as worse than Watergate and hinted that it could prove the undoing of the federal investigation into Trump's campaign. Meanwhile, Democrats on the panel say that it is a cherry-picked set of inaccurate accusations designed to kneecap special counsel Robert Mueller. They have drafted their own counter-memo to rebut the Republican-drafted document, but the majority voted against immediately making that document public earlier this week. The memo is based on a slate of highly classified materials provided to the committee by the Justice Department itself, in a closed-door deal brokered by Speaker Paul Ryan, RWIS. Naturally, the DOJ has claimed that the release of the memo is an abrogation of the terms of that deal, an assertion spokesmen for both Ryan and Nunes have rejected. Advertisement. Meanwhile, the underlying evidence remains classified, a state of affairs that Democrats and some national security analysts say makes it impossible to independently verify the memo's conclusions. As The Hill reported earlier, ahead of the document's release, Paul Ryan privately urged House Republicans not to overplay the document and not to tie it to the Mueller investigation. Here are select excerpts from the FISA memo, full PDF below. On October 21, 2016, DOJ and FBI sought and received a FISA probable cause order, not under Title VII, authorizing electronic surveillance on Carter Page from the FISC. Page is a U.S. citizen who served as a volunteer advisor to the Trump presidential campaign. Consistent with requirements under FISA, the application had to be first certified by the Director or Deputy Director of the FBI. It then required the approval of the Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, DAG, or the Senate-confirmed Assistant Attorney General for the National Security Division. The FBI and DOJ obtained one initial FISA warrant targeting Carter Page and 3 FISA renewals from the FISC. As required by statute, 50 U.S.C. 1805, d. 1, a FISA order on an American citizen must be renewed by the FISC every 90 days, and each renewal requires a separate finding of probable cause. Then Director James Comey signed 3 FISA applications in question on behalf of the FBI, and Deputy Director Andrew McCabe signed one. Then DAG Sally Yates, then Acting DAG Dana Boent, and DAG Rod Rosenstein each signed one or more FISA applications on behalf of DOJ. Our findings indicate that, as described below, material and relevant information was omitted. The dossier compiled by Christopher Steele, Steele Dossier, on behalf of the Democratic National Committee, DNC, and the Hillary Clinton campaign formed an essential part of the Carter Page FISA application. Steele was a longtime FBI source who was paid over $160,000 by the DNC and Clinton campaign, via the law firm Perkins Coie and research firm Fusion GPS, to obtain derogatory information on Donald Trump's ties to Russia. Neither the initial application in October 2016, nor any of the renewals, disclose or reference the role of the DNC, Clinton campaign, or any party/campaign in funding Steele's efforts, even though the political origins of the Steele dossier were then known to senior DOJ and FBI officials. B. The initial FISA application notes Steele was working for a named U.S. person, but does not name Fusion GPS and Principal Glenn Simpson, who was paid by a U.S. law firm, Perkins Coie, representing the DNC, even though it was known by DOJ at the time that political actors were involved with the Steele dossier. The application does not mention Steele was ultimately working on behalf of and paid by the DNC and Clinton campaign, or that the FBI had separately authorized payment to Steele for the same information. The Carter Page FISA application also cited extensively a September 23, 2016, Yahoo News article by Michael Isikoff, which focuses on Page's July 2016 trip to Moscow. This article does not corroborate the Steele dossier because it is derived from information leaked by Steele himself to Yahoo News. Steele was suspended and then terminated as an FBI source for what the FBI defines as the most serious of violations, an unauthorized disclosure to the media of his relationship with the FBI in an October 30, 2016, Mother Jones article by David Korn. Steele's numerous encounters with the media violated the cardinal rule of source handling, maintaining confidentiality, and demonstrated that Steele had become a less than reliable source for the FBI. 3. Before and after Steele was terminated as a source, he maintained contact with DOJ via then Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr, a senior DOJ official who worked closely with Deputy Attorneys General Yates and later Rosenstein. Shortly after the election, the FBI began interviewing Orr, documenting his communications with Steele. For example, in September 2016, Steele admitted to Orr his feelings against then-candidate Trump when Steele said he was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being president. This clear evidence of Steele's bias was recorded by Orr at the time and subsequently in official FBI files, but not reflected in any of the Page FISA applications. During this same time period, Orr's wife was employed by Fusion GPS to assist in the cultivation of opposition research on Trump. Orr later provided the FBI with all of his wife's opposition research, paid for by the DNC and Clinton campaign via Fusion GPS. The Orr's relationship with Steele and Fusion GPS was inexplicably concealed from the FISC. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. After Steele was terminated, a source validation report conducted by an independent unit within FBI assessed Steele's reporting as only minimally corroborated. Yet, in early January 2017, Director Comey briefed President-elect Trump on a summary of the Steele dossier, even though it was, according to his June 2017 testimony, salacious and unverified. While the FISA application relied on Steele's past record of credible reporting on other unrelated matters, it ignored or concealed his anti-Trump financial and ideological motivations. Furthermore, Deputy Director McCabe testified before the committee in December 2017 that no surveillance warrant would have been sought from the FISC without the Steele dossier information. The Page FISA application also mentions information regarding fellow Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos, but there is no evidence of any cooperation or conspiracy between Page and Papadopoulos. The Papadopoulos information triggered the opening of an FBI counterintelligence investigation in late July 2016 by FBI agent Pete Strzok. Strzok was reassigned by the Special Counsel's Office to FBI Human Resources for improper text messages with his mistress, FBI attorney Lisa Page, no known relation to Carter Page, where they both demonstrated a clear bias against Trump and in favor of Clinton, whom Strzok had also investigated. The Strzok/Lisa Page texts also reflect extensive discussions about the investigation, orchestrating leaks to the media, and include a meeting with Deputy Director McCabe to discuss an insurance policy against President Trump's election. Full memo at the bottom. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Earlier, just before noon on Friday, the FISA memo compiled by House Intelligence Committee staff, led by Chairman Devin Nunes, R. California, from classified documents provided by the Department of Justice, was officially declassified by Trump's lawyer Donald Gann, over the objections of the DOJ and the FBI, as explained in the letter below. According to the Washington Examiner's Byron York, who had access to an early released version, a key point in the memo is that the salacious and unverified Steele dossier formed the essential part of the initial and all three renewal applications against Carter Page, in line with what as previously leaked. As York also explicitly highlights, the FBI's Andrew McCabe confirmed to the committee that no FISA warrant would have been sought from the FISA court without the Steele dossier information. This, as Fox News confirms, means that absent the dossier, at least one of the surveillance warrants in the case would not have been obtained, and, by implication, the entire Mueller probe is thus on shaky legal ground. Back to the memo, which, as York adds, the political origins of the Steele dossier were known to senior DOJ and FBI officials, but excluded from the FISA applications. Byron York. Heavy checkmark. At Byron York. Morehouse Intel memo key point, the political origins of the Steele dossier were known to senior DOJ and FBI officials, but excluded from the FISA applications. http://ow.ly/qcag30iaosg. 11:52 a.m., February 2, 2018. House Intel memo released, what it says. The House Intelligence Committee has released its controversial memo outlining alleged abuses of secret surveillance by the FBI and Justice. WashingtonExaminer.com. 124 replies, 1283 retweets, 1495 likes. Twitter adds info and privacy. As Dow Jones confirms, DOJ officials knew Steele was being paid by Democrats, and that officials at the DOJ and FBI signed one warrant, and 3 renewals against Carter Page. York also notes that DOJ official Bruce Orr was relayed information about Christopher Steele's bias. Steele told Orr that he, Steele, was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected president and was passionate about him not becoming president. All else equal, sounds like a clear case of bias, and when extended, it would imply that the entire Mueller probe is based on grounds that could be overturned in court. ****. To recap, Here are the key points disclosed in the memo, as summarized by the Washington Examiner, which has an early unclassified version of the memo. The Steele dossier formed an essential part of the initial and all 3 renewal FISA applications against Carter Page. Andrew McCabe confirmed that no FISA warrant would have been sought from the FISA court without the Steele dossier information. The political origins of the Steele dossier were known to senior DOJ and FBI officials, but excluded from the FISA applications. DOJ official Bruce Orr met with Steele beginning in the summer of 2016 and relayed to DOJ information about Steele's bias. Steele told Orr that he, Steele, was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected president and was passionate about him not becoming president. As a reminder, the FBI and Justice Department mounted a months-long effort to keep the information outlined in the memo out of the House Intelligence Committee's hands. Only the threat of contempt charges and other forms of pressure forced the FBI and Justice to give up the material. Once Intelligence Committee leaders and staff compiled some of that information into the memo, the FBI and Justice Department, supported by Capitol Hill Democrats, mounted a ferocious campaign of opposition, saying release of the memo would endanger national security and the rule of law. But Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes never wavered in his determination to make the information available to the public. President Trump agreed, and, as required by House rules, gave his approval for release. Finally, the memo released today does not represent the sum total of what House investigators have learned in their review of the FBI and Justice Department Trump-Russia investigation. That means the fight over the memo could be replayed in the future when the Intelligence Committee decides to release more information. Moments after the announcement that the memo was declassified, Trump spoke to reporters and was asked if the memo makes it more likely that he will fire Deputy AG Rod Rosenstein, to which Trump responded. BuzzFeed News. Heavy checkmark. At BuzzFeed News. When asked if the memo makes it more likely he will fire Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, Trump responds, "You figure that one out." 12:10 p.m., February 2, 2018. 134 replies, 295 retweets, 255 likes.
County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of your news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.